Great. It is Monday, July 20th, 2026 at 6 p.m. We're gathered here at Shaftsbury's town offices. I'm calling to order this meeting of Shaftsbury Select Board. Prior to moving forward, is there a conflict of interest that anyone on the board has with anything on this particular agenda this evening?
No.
Very good. Move on to item 3, which is the review of minutes. So we have before us the meeting minutes for the select board meeting which took place on July 6, 2026. Does anybody have any amendments to this warrant?
Minutes.
Sorry, 1 minute. Yeah. I'm looking at the word warrant in the minutes.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any amendments or edits to these meeting minutes from the July 6th meeting?
I just wanted to say that I was not at that meeting, so I wouldn't be.
Does anybody have
And
any?
I actually have to not vote on this one because I was in and out on Zoom so much I couldn't hear much of it.
That leaves
Then we don't
only
have a
2 of
quorum.
us, yeah. I didn't see anything in here,
Okay.
any issues, so.
Well, we can't really call for,
We don't have to approve minutes.
yeah, I know,
It
it's
can
just a
go-
formality. A lot of
Yeah.
towns don't do it at all. Tim Scott gets 1 minute. Okay, well then, we'll just go ahead and have these as they are. We won't call for a motion to approve them because we don't have a quorum to approve them.
In
because we don't have
the
minutes to
parts
review.
that I was able to hear, it all sounds right.
And there are no amendments that anybody has anyway, so it's all good. Okay, so moving forward, we're on item 4, which is warrants. Paula is not here, so bear with me as I will read things and then I will also find the thing that goes with it. Okay, so taking a look here, I call for a motion to consider check warrant report 27001 in the amount of $97,759.53.
So moved.
Second.
So taking a look here, we're going to go down this warrant and read out a few things, some at random, and then some that are smaller, under the amount of $2,500, and then every item that is over the amount of $2,500. So let's read this one right here. Accessibility Systems Incorporated, invoice 14612 in the amount of $1,022.31. That is
The old lift was inspected.
a recertification of the lifts, accessibility, that it works. It was inspected by Accessibility Systems. So that's,
And that has to be done yearly.
it has to be done, yeah, it's required. Next up, the BCRC. It's a grant BR 1258 in the amount of $13,640. There's a note here that this is a DPW grant for work and that it's paid for by a grant. I'm not sure if this means that this money has already come to us for this grant or if it's that we'll receive it later. So that's a question that I will check with Paula about because I don't know.
I don't know that.
Yeah, okay.
After it's paid.
After it's paid. Okay, so that's kind of why I asked, is because this warrant is high, and that's something to just remember, is that basically $14,000 of it we're getting back.
BCRC was hired to recertify the town for all our hydrologically connected roads. And they had till 27 to do it and they got it done. So
Okay.
that's what that is.
So, yeah.
That'll get submitted as soon as it's paid.
Perfect, so we're paying that one out and then we get it back. So that bumps down that warrant by about 14 grand, just for the audience. Bennington County Sheriff's Department, $7,460. That's our monthly contract with the Sheriff's Department. Because of our consistent interest in public safety, we did bump up the amount of hours that the sheriff will be serving the town. So we just want to make sure that we're not underserved, and they've also done a great job this year when we had a significant amount of concerns. So we're happy to have renewed that partnership and also kind of expanded the scope a little bit. All right, next. We have here Comcast for $209.78, and that is internet service.
Can I call out the next one?
Sure.
Consolidated Communications for $300.48. Tiffany flagged that, so I called them today, and it should only be $100.
Okay.
They were still billing us for 61 Buck Hill Road at $200.48.
I see that.
So what they're going to do is we'll pay this, but they're going to give us credit back to May 5th.
Okay.
So that we should all keep in the back of our minds, we shouldn't have a consolidated bill for
Next
several
time.
months.
Yeah, and the following 2 months.
Yeah, probably 3 months, actually.
So who was it? Tiffany was in touch with him, or you were in touch?
No, I was in touch with her. She called it out. She asked me what that was for.
Okay.
And I said, there was two, $100 for the fire department and then $200 for the town. And I said, well, let me call them because I don't know if it's the two fire departments. She said she didn't think there was internet service at the second fire department because they weren't using it. So I called them and they said, yep, that was
A mistake.
a mistake and they're gonna credit us.
All right. Thank you all for catching that.
Okay.
Awesome. Okay. So I'm just gonna check them as I go. Send it over. Great. The next one that I'll read out is to Matt Morse Excavating in the amount of $2,500. That was for the removal of the fire department's old oil tank. Next one I'll read out is MVP Healthcare, $17,707.20. That is for the health insurance for the employees of the town. And some of that cost does come back through deductions from paychecks. Next up, Northeast Municipal LLC. I'm gonna have to pull this one up here. So there's several from this vendor. Northeast Municipal. This is another one that the money will come back. So $12,989.40. This was used for highway grants, it's used for work to the highways, and it is covered by grant GA 1115. So once that has been spent, which it will be spent now, we will receive that back. And then the next amount beneath it, which is $7,807.20, is also to Northeast Municipal LLC for more highway road work. That's grant PO 2309, so we'll receive that back as well. Let's see. Let's choose another one at random. Procom Services. I don't know what that is, so let's find out. Okay, so Procom Services in the amount of $1,356.60. That is maintenance for the DPW radio, so it's communication spend. Okay, down the list, we will do one more smaller one. Invoice 293 in the amount of $1,800 to Tamarack Tree Care. It is tree removal at the post office and on Cider Mill Road. Joe, does anybody have any questions about any of the other transactions on here? Okay. All in favor of approving check warrant 27001?
Aye.
Great. So I'll pass that around for signature. And I'll put it back to give to Paul. Now, this back. Okay, so next up is announcements. I have a few, so I'll go ahead and open up. First announcement that I have in front of me, timing-wise, is that there's a planning committee meeting this Wednesday, July 22nd at 6 p.m. That we want to make sure the public is aware of. I know it's posted in many places, including some businesses, but this meeting is with regards to the town plan. The town plan is updated, I believe, every 8 years, and ours is underway right now. It's being worked on by the BCRC. A town plan sort of guides where you hope the town will go. It's a non-binding document, but the goals stated within a town plan help to shape the future of the town, decision-making that local elected officials sort of help guide them. And it also has to do with the viability of applying for grants, because you want to state in your town plan what you hope you might achieve. So the BCRC has been working on that, and tomorrow they'll do a little bit of a presentation. I've been asked to deliver a presentation of just a few short sentences about what we're hoping to achieve, which I know is like some economic development, some wastewater sort of expansion in order to perhaps have more housing in this town, and then just generally continuing on in the direction that we're going in. So if anybody has any thoughts before Wednesday, feel free to shoot me an email, anybody on the board, because it's just sort of a general commentary, and also feel free to come.
I'd like to add to that we have the surveys over there, and people are coming in for them. I actually had to make extra copies today.
That's great.
So, which is good.
Yeah.
They're there, they can be dropped off in the box when people are done. So,
That's great,
come in and
yeah.
get the survey.
Yeah, come and get the survey, and the BCRC is super responsive, and they want to make sure that the town plan represents the interests of the citizens, and as they make their, put it together. So, and it's a long process, a lot of public input, so I just wanted to call that out. Next one is taking place next week, I believe, is that maybe it started already, Jen definitely knows the dates. The tennis courts are closed. They are being resurfaced. One court will remain a tennis court with the possibility of being a pickleball court. There will be a portable net. And then one court has been turned into 2 pickleball courts permanently. So we do still have a tennis court. The resurfacing is covered financially. A $7,000 grant was obtained. Paula, our town administrator, managed to get a grant from the state's recreation fund for that $7,000, and it's a matching fund, so the other $7,000 is coming out of the recreation committee's existing budget. So, and then the next one on Friday at 2 p.m. Friday the 24th at 2 p.m. The board will be meeting with the judge presiding in the case of Melissa Brown versus the town of Shaftsbury with regards to the vicious dog attack that took place this fall, that then the select board issued a decision on, which Ms. Brown appealed, which now sits in the Bennington court system. It's just a status conference, so there will not be any new presentation at that time. There will not be any decisions made on that date, but just calling out that we're moving forward with that process. And there will be an update on that to come. And then the final one for me is that the primary elections are coming up on August 11th. As a result, the town clerk's office will be closed on the 10th, 11th, and 12th. And so if you need an absentee ballot.
I am here in the morning on the 11th.
Okay.
Or the 12th.
Okay.
God, the day before the election, I'm here till
The 10th. Okay. So on the 10th, the town clerk will be here till noon.
It's been a long day.
And if you want to reach out about an absentee ballot,
Please do so.
Please do
We
so.
have them.
so those are all my announcements. Does anybody have any further announcements?
Yeah, I would like to announce that we located an individual who believes that she is a descendant of a Cole family, and she's working to muster the documents to prove that, but she's fairly certain it's true. And she will be very interested in participating in redefining the covenants of the deed legally, so that the town can do something with it other than give it to a descendant or back to the Unitarian Church. So that's really good news. And we should keep our fingers crossed that
Yeah, that would be
that all moves forward.
That would be very good. So tentative there, but it would be exciting if the town were to have a little bit more flexibility of what could be done with that historic structure. I'm sure there are other parties that are interested. And so we'll see. Any other announcements? Great. Hearing none. Item 6 is public comment. Does anybody have any public comment this evening? No? Okay. Item 7 is the DPW report, which will also include the opening of 2 paving bids that sit before me. So if Mike would like to join us at the table, it's our DPW foreman, Mike Yanani.
How is everybody?
Good.
I just had a quick question. I looked at my calendar and I have the 4th as the election. Am I wrong?
It's the 11th.
I wonder why I put the 4th.
It's usually the first Tuesday,
Yeah.
but it's so many days before the general election,
Oh,
so that's why it's the 11th.
okay, I'm just making sure. I
Yeah.
looked and I was like, oh, better fix that.
The 11th.
Okay.
Glad it came up.
Yeah, I did. No,
You could have cleaned the garage twice in 1 week.
well, yeah, it needs a cleaning now. I forgot what I was gonna say. No, I didn't. Last time I had Paula just talk about she just did a little report there, and one of the items on there was our roadside mower broke down. So we're a little bit behind with that, but it's back in action now. And Salem Farm Supply actually fixed it quicker than they thought they were gonna, so.
Nice.
We had a break in the wire and harness on the transmission, so it wasn't going into gear correctly, but we repaired it, and I'm pretty sure it's under warranty, so I'm still don't know that answer yet. A couple of those grants that you read off, all those culverts and stuff, those are projects we're working on right now, so we'll see the funding back for that and by September. But because I can't submit anything until the end, so that $12,000 was for Northeast, and that's part of the cider mill project, which we'll be starting next week. We'll be on cider mill for probably 2 weeks, just replacing culverts. And then we're gonna go out in Murphy Hill and replace another one, and we're finishing up on East Road ahead of the paving project, which the bids that we're gonna open tonight. But that's pretty
East
much
Road looks
everything.
really nice.
Yeah, we're getting it all prepared for the pavement. We replaced 6 bad culverts. There's some other ones that were in really good shape, so there's no need to bother with them, disturb them or anything. We've got all the ditch in, cut the shoulders, did a bunch of tree work, placed culverts, and I think tomorrow will be our last day out there. We gotta pave the last one in and finish seeding and mulching, and we'll be on Cider Mill Road.
Nice.
So that's where we're at there.
All right. So I guess, any questions? Having a camera issue here on Zoom, but the audio is recording.
Correct.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Mike. So I guess now the next thing that will happen is I'll open these 2 paving bids for East Road, read them out, and then I will pass them along to you.
Yeah, and then sometimes we approve them right now and sometimes we don't, but we'll see where we're at and money-wise and
Yeah.
go from there.
Okay, so we'll read out the,
And you said you have a grant for this?
This is all, paving grant from V-Trans. We'll see where they come out as. That'll determine everything. But I think the numbers should work out good from dealing, because I have to get an estimate to put in for the grant, so I kind of have an idea where we need to be, but we'll see what the price of everything just keeps going up and, so.
What is the extent of the paving project? It's on East
It's
Road?
going to be from where
Where it's dirt?
where gravel starts, all the, a mile and a half down to where they started paving years ago, and where it gets better.
Okay.
It's like,
Buck Hill?
no, a mile up from Buck Hill.
Further up, okay.
Yeah, so just past Reservoir Road.
it's where the kind of paving that's there
So
changes.
before I started with the town, they did like 3 different sections up through there. And I've been applying for this last section every year.
Okay.
Every year I apply for this and it gets denied. Like I applied for East Road in Buck Hill, they gave us Buck Hill. I applied for East Road in White Creek, they gave us East Road. So I'm like, this is the only one I applied for this time.
Okay.
So,
Well, we're getting there.
but
Okay. I will go ahead and open up this first bid, which says that it is from Springfield Paving in Claremont, New Hampshire, which I'm sure is also on the bid. I don't have a letter opener, so we're going to
Springfield is the one that they've done all the paving in the last 10 years in the town.
So they're known to you.
Yeah,
And you're happy with their work?
yeah.
All right. So we have here, the project is East Road, proposal of Springfield paving of 10, I think that says Cajun, Road, Claremont, New Hampshire, 03743, to furnish the necessary labor, equipment, and material to perform all work in accordance with the plan, special provisions, and description of construction as contained herein for Shaftsbury Highway Projects project on which proposals shall be received until 12 p.m. EST, Thursday, July 16th at the town of Shaftsbury. Bids will be open at the Shaftsbury Select Board meeting on Monday, July 20th. It's happening now. The project site is the north end of East Road, starting at 2106 East Road, ending at the beginning of the gravel section of East Road. There's a description of the construction in detail. Should I read it out? It's like a little list.
It just says that we're putting 2 inches of blacktop on there, we're doing a shim and an overlay.
So their bid amount is $222,491.70. 222,491.70.
Oh, it's good.
And they said that the completion date, I just think this part sounds relevant and overviewy. The completion date for this work would be, as according to them, before November 5th, 2026 for complete and accepted work.
Well, I put on there, before, that was my date.
That's your date?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And so they agreed to it.
They agreed to it.
Okay, great. So I will hold this on for 1 second, and then I will pass it on to Mike once I read the next one. It's my first time opening them, so. All right, this one is from Peckham Road Corporation. Next time, letter opener. I do own them, but they don't come up that much in my life. Okay, so we have here in front of us, paving bid for East Road. Same conditions, furnishing the necessary labor, equipment, and material to perform the work. Their bid is in the amount of $247,250 and 0 cents. So 247,250. They also included their COI and then some other information for Brooksfield. They did not include any information agreeing to the date, but the November date. Yeah, so we have 2 bids. One that appears to be, what, about $25,000 more than the other. So
What is the grant for? How much is the grant for?
With the match, right around 225, 227,
So we would come up with
$20,000 of it has to come out of the town.
20,000?
Yeah, I think that's what it was, yeah.
Okay.
So
It's
you
not
have
a lot.
Do you have a feeling right up front about these relative proposals?
Yeah, I mean, like, say that again?
Do you have a recommendation?
Oh, I mean, obviously, I recommend Springfield. I mean, I can explain why the prices are higher if you really want to know. But Peckham Industries is a New York company. They have to pay New York state wages.
Yeah, prevailing wage, right?
They don't pay Vermont because Vermont is like peanuts. You know, the New York state prevailing wages are more, so they pay more. And this was from the Peckham salesman. That's what he says is, but they also sell the asphalt to Springfield. So Peckham, they get a piece of the pie anyways. You know, Springfield was going to put the asphalt down, but it's true.
that's how.
You know, so it worked, and it's just the way it works. So they're making money, Peckham's making money off of it anyways. But Springfield since I've been here, they've done East Road for us, Buck Hill, White Creek Road, Birch Hill, Hidden Valley.
Baldwin's the current one.
No, oh yeah, I'm saying since I've been here, since I've started, since 2018, so that company, I mean, and they've showed up with the same guy, the same crew every year, so it shows that they're deep.
Yeah.
And I said that to Jeremy, the boss. I said, you know, it's kind of funny that you come back with the same crew every year. I said, I don't know, I must be doing something right. But that'd be my recommendation. I mean, I don't see a need to drag it out. I think we could approve it today and be done with it. It goes right along with what we need, where we need to be with it. The road is completely out of shape. It should have been paved years ago. There is a chance that it's probably going to be over tonnage, because you're trying to put 2 inches down on a road that's got 5-inch ruts in it. So their tonnage will be close, but they'll go over a little bit. And we've had that happen on Buck Hill, White Creek, every road. You let these roads go so far out of whack, and they're hard to get back into shape. So the tonnage, it'll be close, but it'll go over a few times.
Just because of the Route 7 project, the culvert projects, what is the schedule for East Road to be paved? Is it going to be before or after East and 7A take a lot of that additional traffic?
East Road is not supposed to take that additional traffic.
It's not supposed to.
It's not supposed to, but it will.
But it's one of the main.
Anything that stopped them, anything that stopped it from taking that additional traffic by default of the GPS sending people would be good.
Well, my question though is do we want to repave that road before or after?
I know what you're trying to say.
It will be after, because
It will
there's
be
no way
after.
they're doing it next month.
Okay.
Guesstimating.
Because it's, yeah, okay.
Because it's a big
All right, no, I'm
project,
just checking.
I'm going to have to say it would be the beginning of October.
Yeah, there's
Okay,
no way they
that's
can do that in a
normally
month.
good.
No.
That's
I mean,
good. I can get that answer tomorrow. No, I
curious.
don't. You know darn well
It will
that
be.
anybody that knows the shortcut from
Is gonna be
East
taken.
Road
Yeah,
is going to
everybody's
go.
gonna be taking East Road.
Yeah, so whether or not, it's just the way it is.
It'll have one last big hurrah.
We'll leave it rough then.
But yeah, I know where you're coming from, but in looking at if we're on July 20th, it would be, what a world we would live in if somebody was repaving a road 1 month from now. That would be crazy.
Yeah, but it all depends on the schedule. I mean, they could have more work down here, and if you approve it tonight and I tell them it's awarded and we're done and ready, there's no reason that they're working down here, they can come and pave it.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, which I guess it's fine either way. We just don't want it to be taking place during the time of the reroute.
Or maybe before.
it'll only be a day or two project, probably 2 days.
If the road's being worked on, people won't use it as
Yeah, that was kind of what Naomi was pointing to.
shortcut, yeah, so.
Well, that's really the state's
trucks.
problem
It's
for
really
not
the
listening to
trucks.
us, I think.
Truck traffic.
Yeah, that sounds like a them issue for not listening to what we said. So they'll have to figure that out. We will repave our road. Okay.
Yeah, so,
Wear and tear wise, in
Yes.
terms of additional traffic on a road,
a new,
doing it prior to paving rather than after the
it would
fact.
probably be better prior.
All right, well, all that said, and Mike can give us updates on that as the conversation goes on with
Yeah.
the contractor. How do we feel about calling for a motion to approve this bid? That's good.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the bid for the Springfield paving for 222.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. I'm gonna sign it.
You can,
There's not a line on it, but we're good. Okay. I'm gonna give you both of them.
that's fine.
Okay. They are yours to have it to hold.
Yeah, and as I get a schedule, I'll keep you updated.
Awesome.
It's only a 2-day project, at the most 3, but it's pretty close to the plant. The plant's right there, so.
It's quick.
I mean, they did White Creek Road in 2 days, and that was a little farther away. It's the same exact measurements as White Creek Road, so the section we did.
That's pretty good. We get a grant for
Well,
that much, and, I mean, the town, yeah, 20,000 is a lot, especially
Yeah.
right now, but considering what the total bill is, that's,
Yeah.
it is, and it is very helpful, and what isn't very helpful is this is a Class 2 road, so the Class 2 roads get these grants, but like Perrin Acres, for example, there's no grant in there, and that pavement in Perrin Acres is not in very good shape, and this goes back to what I was talking about before, about putting money away in the paving fund, and I've been saying it for a long time, and it has not been addressed, that we need to put money away for roads that we don't get grants for.
right,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And that's something that's I guess, being worked on.
That's the first year.
What kind of road is that considered?
Parent Acres is a Class 3 road.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not, and this is a Class 2 highway, so it's got different classifications, and we're able to get the paving grants and structure grants, so if there was, the structures could go for any road, but paving is for Class 1 and Class 2. We don't have any Class 1 in Shaftsbury.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, that's all I have. If nobody has any other questions or anything.
I do.
Thanks.
All right, thank
All
you.
right, thank
Thank
you.
you.
All right, next up is item 8, which is our treasurer's report. So Melanie, if you'd like to join us at the table.
Okay. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
This is everybody's favorite day. We're going to set the tax rate today, but first I wanted to tie a bow on fiscal '26. And if you want to look at the first page, which is the cash by fund. And yeah, I probably gave them to you in a weird order, Jen. Sorry about that. So if you look at this, this is why we had to hold off on having the fire truck delivered. You can sort of see that our actual cash that we have on hand is $587,050. And if we had taken delivery of the fire truck, that would have wiped us out. This is a temporary problem, and that's why I definitely wanted to get the tax rate set so I can get the bills stuffed and out the door as soon as we possibly can, and then we'll be out of our temporary cash flow problem. But I did want you to just take note of that. The fire department is and my understanding is that they are understandably frustrated that they did everything right and here's all the money sitting there, but we do need just to bolster our cash for another couple of weeks.
And we're also just to chime in on that same point, is that the fire truck is not actually ready for delivery yet, that it's having some final, so we're not yet withholding the delivery. They're doing some final kind of bells and whistles stuff. It's at the dealership and it's having its final sort of appointments, done to get it to spec. And so on Friday, Paula spoke to the gentleman at Toyne who's handling it, and he said that he would give us advance notice of at least a week before delivery, and that he also might be willing to come up with some creative solutions for us that perhaps we could do something. I don't want to speak out of turn because he has not agreed to anything, but we did ask to him if we could potentially have, partial payment upon delivery, and then maybe terms of credit, maybe 30-day terms or something like that, because Paula let him know that, and he doesn't normally, this hasn't come up a lot of times for him, but he was very positive. He was like, I understand the situation you're in and that that this is a very temporary cash flow crisis, and the timing of the delivery could not have been really worse, but also it's totally fine. So, and yeah, the chief of the fire department is understandably annoyed, but we are definitely going to make it all right.
Yep.
And they're not even ready to deliver it yet, so it's all good.
Yep. So you could see this. I usually have it on the screen and it's very hard to read. Does anybody have any questions about, these are the numbers I present every couple of weeks, but any questions about any of this?
I have a question about the Vermont, the bond that we're receiving for the next phase for phase 1 of the water sort of plan. Where does that go? How does that work?
Unfortunately, I don't handle that stuff, so I don't want to speak out of turn. It's more of a Paula question.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, great. So next time I'll ask her.
I don't know whether it goes directly into the water fund or whether it's in the general fund for usage, right?
Okay. Yeah, I just wasn't really sure because I know that that'll fund at some point soon, and so I was just kind of curious about where that goes, and I know that we'll clarify what the amount is at the next meeting. I'll read the amount out. I don't have the note in front of me that we signed, but just curious.
So I have a question.
Sure.
The fire truck could be ready any day. So when do you anticipate having enough money to actually paying for the truck?
Well, we have enough money to pay for the truck as long as we don't pay payroll.
No, that's what I mean.
Yeah, it's we generally, I can do an anticipated cash flow for when tax money comes in. It's, we tend to get, a couple $100,000 right away. There are people just champing at the bit. I'm getting phone calls, people want their tax bills. So I can draw up the way the cash has come in previous years, but we should have a couple $100,000 within, say, 3 weeks of the bills going out.
And the bills are going to go out?
I hope to get them out this week. I mean, once you guys vote to approve a tax rate, that is the last thing standing in the way to my printing and mailing. And, we can have a big stuffing party. I'm hoping to get them out by this weekend.
Awesome.
Great.
Okay, so if we want to look at the cash, this is the cash flow for June 30th. That's the second page. Jen, I think that's the one you had up first. So this is basically showing you the same thing I was just talking about. You see the cash balance down at the bottom there. But this also shows the budget status, and obviously these are final numbers because it's the end of the year. So we ended up under revenues less, 328,000 versus expenditures. Now this is not news, I've been saying this all along. We were spending money that was not budgeted. That's how it's showing up. And in the previous year, it was sort of the same story, although for different reasons, and that was we were under by 261. So that's why we're in the situation we're in right now, all of it completely predicted. The townsfolk voted to go forward with these decisions we've made, but that's what it looks like. Mm-hmm. Any questions about any of that? None of this is new. It's just ugly when you see it at the final numbers. Okay, so let's go on to the good stuff. The first thing I wanted to talk about was that I wrote an email, I don't know if you all had a chance to see it, about I found an error in our community appropriations. Yeah. There are a lot of reasons that it went undiscovered. It is a very, very tricky apples to oranges comparison to make, and a lot of eyes looked at it, and a lot of eyes did not catch it, and it is a really tricky thing to do. But what ended up happening is one community appropriation appeared on in the town report and did not appear on the ballot, and there was another one that was the opposite, appeared on the ballot but not in the town report. So what I said, I made an executive decision, and that was not my position to make. What I meant was I made an executive decision that when I showed you the tax rate calculation, it would include the hospice payment that was not ever voted on. I think you're probably going to say that we should give them their money even though it was not on the ballot. But if you don't say that, then I will change the tax rate. But the tax rate calculation I have given you does include that. So if you want to have a little chat about whether we can send a check to hospice when it was not voted on by the populace because it was not on the ballot, go for it.
So you said in your email that it's been approved on...
Always approved.
Always approved. Do you happen to remember how many years that's been?
Do you know, Marlene?
It seems like they've been on forever.
I think they've been on forever, and it's always overwhelmingly approved. This is not one that's close.
Mm-hmm.
And they did everything right.
They did everything right. Yeah.
I feel comfortable calling for a motion to approve the appropriation to the VNA hospice.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And also, this is about $5,000, just for the record. So this would make almost no difference to
It's right. It's
tax rate
about
at all.
$250 per person, something
Yeah,
like
it's a
that.
very, and for a very noble and worthy
Obviously,
thing
a
that
very
everyone has
nice.
agreed upon for probably 20 plus years. So I assume they will.
And every time one has to
Yeah.
use it, anybody who has to use hospice is
Understands the value.
very, very grateful.
Yeah. Okay. I'm glad we all agree. So if you look at the next page, which is the tax rate calculation, it is not identical to what I sent you originally last week, and it's because of that. That is boosting up by a couple hundredths of a cent. I mean,
26 or 27?
I'm sorry, we're looking at the one that says, yeah, the other one. This is that's for comparison only. So
Yeah, this one.
So this is the calculation for what you're going to vote on tonight. Now, this is always like the most nerve-wracking thing I do all year because you do not want to make a mistake on setting the tax rate. And everything is different this year because of the reappraisal. So if you look at it side by side, since we have the benefit of having the 2 pages, if you look at the 2 tax rate calculations, they could not possibly be different. And what's driving that is that the grand list value, because of reappraisal, went from, in '26, it was 4.179, and this year it's 7,212. That's what is causing the tax rate to plummet. We've been saying that was going to happen all along. People were still very nervous that their assessed values have gone up so much, but because their assessed values went up so much by, on an average, about 83%, that's why the tax rate has gone down significantly.
And would you just read the 2 of them out loud, just for the record, like what?
Oh, I'm going to do that, but I just want to explain what's going on
Why
a little
it
bit
is.
first. So that is not, across the board, it is not the same amount. Everybody's reappraisal was done individually, so it's not going to be exactly the same. Some people's tax bills are actually going to go down this year because of something going on with their appraised value. Most people's are going to go up a bit, but that's partly because the budget is quite a bit bigger this year. So it's not the tax rate that is driving that. It's the dance among all of these things. The grand list going up, the assessed values going up, the tax rate going down, and then the budget increase. So what we're talking about for just calculating on the grand list, we're looking at this year, it would be 0.3960, where last year it was 0.5951. Okay? But then we've got the local agreement, which includes things like veterans exemptions and 2 properties that we, as a town, have voted not to send tax bills to. That is the Taconic Grange and the Community Hall. So they get 0 tax bills, and we have to make up the difference as a town. And that's what the local agreement comprises. So that's 0.0026. This brings us up to a total municipal tax for this year of 0.3986, whereas last year it was 0.6002. Okay?
It's a drop.
And I know that Zoe looked at your bills side by side. They're probably a little bit of sticker shock, but not like horrifying, right?
Well, mine kind of was, but only because I believe that my home has been under appraised for quite a long time.
Yeah.
So my appraisal, I actually did run the like rate change on all of my runs, and mine is the highest one. But I think that it is correct. So no sticker shock, because I understood what was coming.
Yeah, well, I mean, you could look at it that you or the previous owner were benefiting from.
No, for years. No, I understand exactly what it is.
And the opposite is also true in some cases.
Where other people were overpaying, and
Yes.
they were being, it was an unfairly levied
Yeah.
cost upon them. And I know that that's certainly the case. And I was surprised, and I do try to stress this all the time, is that, that education tax really was, for me, the much bigger change of the 2.
Absolutely.
I did the math, I subtracted, and I was like, oh, this is really the thing that's driving why this is so much higher.
Yeah. Yeah,
Always take a look at those 2 lines.
Yeah, that's why the bill, I should have brought a sample bill, but that's why we keep them separate. You can see the municipal is on the left and the education is on the right.
But yeah, it all made sense, and thank you for letting me see, so.
Yeah, sure. So any discussion of all those numbers I just was flinging around? Is this clear?
Yes.
I'm going to get so many questions about it. All of you are going to get questions about it. Why did my reappraisal go up so much? But I hope that when people see the actual bills, it will set a lot of minds at least a little bit at rest, because the tax rate has gone down significantly, as we promised.
You know, there wasn't a price for 16 years? Is that how long that we, how long?
Yeah, 16
years. So when those values go up so significantly and you end up paying more property tax, it really, it's at least 8 years of much lower rates than it should have been, because it's every 8 years really, I think, from going forward that we're going to be having those rates increase.
Every 6 years.
6.
According to
Okay.
the state.
Oh yeah, I'm thinking 8 is the town thing.
Yeah.
All these. But,
Okay.
The question I have a hard time answering to people's satisfaction is, maybe you could just explain it yet again, you keep explaining it, why it is that tax rates go down when appraisals go up.
Okay, if you imagine that there was just one property in Shaftsbury and it was worth $1 million, okay, and it had a 10% tax rate, okay, they would pay $10,000 a year. If you said, no, your house is actually worth $2 million, but we still need to raise $10,000, your tax rate is going to be cut in half. Because you're still raising the same amount.
of money. It's all about how much money we're
But it's a percentage
raising.
of a larger amount. Is that clearer?
Yes, that's very good, thank you.
Okay. So I guess what we need is a proposal to adopt I can read out the numbers if you want. The municipal rate of .3960, and then a local agreement rate of .0026, for a total of .3986 to be adopted by you guys tonight.
So moved.
Seconded.
All in favor of adopting the rate as well as the local agreement total, and then the tax rate to be adopted today, which is .3986?
Aye.
Okay, that's all I've got.
Thank you very much. And then, I'm sure the first, we'll all be checking in, asking how it's going as it comes in.
Yeah, and if anybody wants to join in a great envelope stuffing party, probably we're talking about Friday. I should have mentioned this too, the great timing, but the professional auditors are coming Monday and Tuesday, a week from today and tomorrow. So that's going to be on top of everything else.
Okay. So you'll be
That's why I
busy
want to try to get the bills out.
now. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, thank you very
Thank
much.
you so much. Thank you for all
Yes.
those concise explanations. So item 9 is the Shaftsbury Fire Department's request for budgeted equipment. I also will just start this, since we're talking about the Shaftsbury Fire Department, that if everybody received a notice in the mail to join the raffle. So just, send in your tickets if you'd like to participate, or your $5. Okay. So here I have in front of me a quote from Harrison Schrader Enterprises. This is for a couple of pieces of, what does this say, equipment in yellow as part of our request? I think it's the whole request. Just this thing. Okay. Sorry, when Paula's not here, I have to take a look at this, and I wasn't here in advance. Okay, so there are 2 equipment requests. We'll go with the first one first, which is from Harrison Schrader Enterprises. It's for a TFT Metro 1 nozzle with a shutoff with a pistol grip, a blitz fire with stock tips and a mounting bracket. These textiles and threads, this all sounds like hose stuff to me. This is in the amount of $10,236. Does anybody have any questions about this that they would want to address to the chief before we move forward? It's all in their budget. Okay. I'd call for a motion to approve this invoice, or this quotation from HSE in the amount of $10,236.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so that one is approved. The other quote in here is from Bearcom, Stone Security. This appears to be a bunch of cables, trunk cables, various sort of communications related switches. This is in the amount of $3,718.74. Although there's a lower amount here if we pay cash, which I think we pay everything cash. So I actually believe that it's $3,610.43. So I would, if anybody has any, without any questions, I'd call for a motion to approve this payment, $3,610.43 to Bear Stone.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so those are done. So item 10 is approval and an explanation of updated job descriptions, but Paula is not here and I don't have copies of these in front of me. And I think that also somebody sent me an email and I just want to make sure that everybody has time. It's for 4 individuals, not for elected officials, of course, but instead for employees of the town. And so we are trying to sort of standardize and understand everything going forward, especially because everybody got a 5% raise across the board. And so understanding what our, I am not an employee of the town, but what the employees of the town's responsibilities are and making sure that they're meeting them, especially considering that everybody just got a raise is of utmost importance. And so the town administrator has put together 4 job descriptions and I believe has been working with individuals to iron them out and make sure that those descriptions meet what they're actually doing in their roles.
I do have something to add to that. So everybody thought that they were going to get to see these before they came before the board. So today I passed them out to people just to prove before they came to us. And there were several changes. So it probably isn't not something that we should...
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about the next meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Paula's going to have to work with everybody to kind of iron everything out. Yeah,
So,
that item got added in advance of it being ready for approval. So that's kind of what I was getting at there, is that we're not ready to do this. And so that stuff, but we are, going through these procedures and that's sort of more the larger point. So Paula will work with those individuals and get all that ironed out so that, those job descriptions meet up with what's being done. Yeah, so we'll talk more about that next time or perhaps at the second meeting in August, just depending on the schedules of all those individuals. I know in summer things take a little longer, so and it's not really a big rush, just something that we want to make sure we have on the books, especially as we move forward with having job descriptions for everybody, including the town administrator, and performing annual performance reviews of everybody, including the town administrator. So the town administrator would perform the performance reviews for the employees, and the select board will perform the performance review of the town administrator. And that's something that I wanted to touch base on too, which is that we need to form, it would be good to form a 2-person committee from this board to put together a plan for assessment of the town administrator, which is just something that we should do as a good practice, but figuring out what that sort of grid would look like and have that job description put together, because we of course want to evaluate everybody who works for the town who is not an elected official. That's all on that.
I would like to suggest that the chair should be one of those 2 and that somebody else should just volunteer.
I would volunteer because I do work here and I do understand the job positions.
I'm not sure, wouldn't that be a conflict of interest?
It's not my job title, but I do understand more than anybody else because I am in here.
Seems a little too close. Yeah.
They are your coworkers. That's like part of the, and so while you do know their roles the best, you also all do have interpersonal relationships with each other, and also all of the sort of salary information and all that, which is all public. But they are, under the definition of conflict of interest, which is a personal or financial sort of competing interest, you all are paid by the same fund. So I would say that I do think that it probably would be a conflict of interest. I don't know how others feel about that.
I think given some of the well-known tensions within the building, that wouldn't be a great match.
So maybe it would be Eamon or Mike who are perhaps more...
I don't think it would be appropriate for me, for example, because I've worked so closely with her.
Yeah, you have a personal relationship with Paula, so in a way that I do not, so it makes more sense for you to not be a part of that process. In the same way that it makes more sense for Marlene maybe to not be a part of the process since she has closer friends or different, alliances within the office place amongst coworkers.
When would these be going on? I guess this would be,
Sometime in the fall, as all of these job descriptions kind of get put together and reviewed, sometime over the next couple months.
September, like maybe?
September, maybe, yeah. I mean, it would just be putting together a job description based on, and this also, Marlene, it would be great to get information from you about what you, over the years under Dave, like, I would like your input, but I just think in putting it together, I mean, the whole board will review her performance, but in putting together the metric, it seems like it might be good to just have as much separation as possible, especially because we have had a few people reach out asking about, town clerk on the board, like, how do you avoid conflict of interest? And it's come up, I've been directly asked that question 2 or 3 times, and I was always like, we will do our best to avoid any instance that might appear, even to avoid the
appearance of
it, so much as anything else, because it really is a rare situation. I know the town clerk of Pownell's also on the board, and that they have these same considerations where they're trying.
Same in Woodhall.
Yeah, very.
It's not that rare anymore.
No, it's not that rare, but it's definitely something to be sensitive to in general from like an HR perspective. But yeah, so.
yeah, I can
Okay,
work.
so we'll work on that at some point in the future. All right.
So we have a committee, a subcommittee.
A subcommittee, and we'll work on it, and then, it'll be something that we'll bring before the group and say, what does everybody think about this list? And Marlene, I'm sure I'll touch base with you and ask, like, what are the things that Dave did, and what are the things that Paul's, and I know that there are things that Paul, that everybody does their job differently, just trying to understand that whole landscape, but then we'll move forward and put something together, so. Is there any other business, item 11, that anybody would like to bring up at this time? Okay. Action items. So Mike will move forward with the process with the paving company. I can't really think if I will go to the status conference. I think Marlene might be able to attend as well. We'll see. On Friday for the dog hearing.
That's live.
Yeah,
That's in
there's
person.
2 options, I think.
Okay.
I think that she got the Zoom link. I can call the court tomorrow just to double check. I think
Well,
I'm gonna
I
go.
believe Bob Perry is going to go in person as well,
Yeah.
and I would like to go in person.
Yeah, I'd like to go in person too. But let me double check, because last time I tried to go in person and then it like wasn't an option, and I like
Oh,
sped
okay.
back up here. So, and they told me it was an option. So I just want to like make sure so
Okay.
I'll call her tomorrow. There's that woman Whitney, I'm sure who's a victim advocate. I'm sure she can give me that information.
Okay.
But good note, that's a Zoe action item. Reach out to court. Okay. Any other action items? Nope. Okay. Hearing none. We're going to enter an executive session to talk about personnel. One of those personnel matters will be with regard to the DPW, and Mike will be there with us. So at this time, I'd call for a motion to enter executive session.
So move.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. exited executive session. And now the only piece of action that we're taking at this time is that we have discussed with the DPW foreman, Mike Yanati, and going forward, he's going to work to put together a criteria, which I believe he already has, and roll out a series of performance reviews for the Shaftsbury DPW crew to assess their work, and in doing so, move towards, for the next fiscal year, a merit-based raise system. And this is in keeping with the other performance reviews and sort of job delineation that we're trying to get sort of hammered out across the entire town for all employees. So that is our only announcement following executive session. Thank you all for your time. So I call for a motion. Anything else? Call for a motion to adjourn this meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.